Dear Griff and Alyssa, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm excited about my upcoming cruise on the Norwegian Escape. Great ship. Check out Cagney's. If you can do the Brazilian steakhouse, it's exceptional. They have a ropes course too. It's really cool. As we both know, life is too short to not enjoy the finer things in life. I agree. I too enjoy the finer things in life. I'm already liking this person a lot. And what better way to do that than on a cruise with our friends? I find myself, we have a lot in common. To make sure this trip goes off without a hitch, sober hitch. Interesting. In parentheses, it says sober hitch in parentheses. I've made some special arrangements for us. Namely, I'm bringing 20 bottles of high-end whiskey on board. We'll have 5 bottles of Pappy Van Winkle's finest offerings. That's expensive. If you've never heard of Pappy Van Winkle, a quick Google search will tell you some cost $1,000 or more. That's pricey. 4 bottles of Macallan 18-year-old Sherry Oak Cask Whiskey. Never had that before. 6 bottles of Glenfiddich. You guys can correct me in the comment section below. 21-year-old Grand Reserva Rum Cask Finish Whiskey. I don't know anything about that. And 5 bottles of Johnny Walker Blue Label Whiskey. I am familiar with that. Interesting. It sounds like you come from a family of wealth. I'm going to continue. It should be more than enough for everyone's taste buds to savor. On top of all that fine booze, we can also bring along some cigars. That sounds interesting. I don't smoke. I've never had a cigar. I've always thought about trying one, but the situations and the ambiance has never been correct. I do know Norwegian has like a cigar room on board on the Norwegian Escape, particularly the one you're going on. So good choice. Let's continue on with the letter. Where were we? We can also bring along some cigars so that we can really get into the spirit. No pun intended. I see what you did there. That's like a double pun. Norwegian spirit, get into the spirit. Whatever, I'll stop. What could be better than enjoying a nice glass or two while sailing away from shore, watching the sunset? That sounds like a vibe, I'm not going to lie. Plus, there are no rules against smoking on board. There are some rules. You got to smoke in the designated smoking areas. This will definitely be something worth remembering. So let's meet up on deck. Start sampling these fine whiskeys on our next adventure. Life is too short not to take advantage. Can't take it with you. See you soon. Keep your spirits high. Sincerely, Whiskey Woman. Well, Whiskey Woman, that sounds like an absolute blast. However, you're going to run into a few issues as bringing liquor on board is not allowed. However, if you stay on long enough, there is a loophole in some ships that actually do allow you to bring liquor on board. And no, I'm not talking about beer, and I'm not talking about champagne or wine. I'm talking about the hard stuff. Let's talk about it. Can you bring alcohol on a cruise ship? Great question. I'm going to answer it for you. Answer is yes. Alcoholic beverages in some cruises may have an onboard are stocked with your favorite drinks, but bringing your own alcohol on board is strictly prohibited in some situations. It can be tempting to bring your own alcohol on board in order to save money because sometimes the drink packages and stuff are just so expensive and the drinks cost $11, $12, $14, $15. But cruise lines are wise to this trick and they'll most likely confiscate your liquor if they find it before sailing. Now, here's the deal. Some cruise lines do allow you to bring your own liquor. They do. For example, Azamara, you can bring your own liquor, beer, or wine for consumption inside of your Azamara suite stateroom free of charge, which is really crazy. There is a $10 corkage fee, but the same rules apply for alcohol purchased in ports. If you buy a bottle at the duty-free shop, it'll be stored until the end of your cruise. Super cool. Found out on the internet. Now, here's the issue. You're sailing on Norwegian, but there might be a loophole. Hear me out. Let's talk through it. First, Norwegian Cruise Line, you may bring a bottle of wine, champagne on board. There is a corkage fee ranging from like $15 to $30. However, no liquor or beer can be brought on Norwegian. Now, here's the deal. If you're in one of those baller suites and you've invested some coin into your vacation, it may be worth making a phone call and asking them. Maybe they don't let you bring 20 bottles, but maybe they let you bring 5, especially like the pappy. But I think it's worth looking into, and good luck. Now here, if you'd like to know what else not to pack on a cruise, what is allowed, what is not allowed, watch this video right here. You won't believe some of the things that people are trying to bring on a cruise ship, and you won't believe my answers to them. Now, let's read the next letter. It's getting a little chilly in here. I'm going to put on a jacket. I'll be right back. Dear Griff and Alyssa, we are writing to you as a group of cruisers who are ready to embark on a Virgin Voyages cruise. Fantastic ship, super great food. You're going to have a great time. We heard that Virgin Voyages Cruise Line was a more relaxed than most, and we were wondering if it would be possible for us to bring our vape collection along with us. The answer to your question is yes. Most cruise ships allow you to bring a vape, but they are prohibited in indoor areas, and you will have to use that vape in the smoking sections only. Continue. Now, before you go off running without giving this question the consideration it deserves, hear us out. I don't like where this is going. As we all have come together from different parts of the world and varying backgrounds, we thought it might be nice to share some of our own favorite flavors while cruising the open seas. We understand that there is not currently an official policy regarding vaping on board, but trust us, no one will even know they are present. Again, there is a policy. It's allowed. We also wanted to ask about bringing or products on board for medicinal purposes if we can prove their legitimacy. I'll play along. We swear we won't cause any trouble. In fact, everyone in our group fully understands how important it is to keep things low key during the trip so as not to attract any unwanted attention or get into any unnecessary trouble. Sure. So what do you say? Can my friends and I enjoy our vapes and perhaps medicate responsibly during our Virgin Voyages cruise? Please let me know at your earliest convenience. We're counting down the days until departure. Thanks so much for taking the time to read this letter and consider its contents. Best regards, the Vape Squad. You know, I'm going to answer your question. Okay, so sailing on a ship can be a thrilling experience, all right? With the opportunity to take in the beauty of the ocean, I get it, during the day and the night as you relax and perhaps enjoy a vape session. I get it. You might wonder if it's permitted to bring your electronic smoking device on board and if there are any specific rules for vaping. The rules will vary depending on the cruise line, and here is what you need to know. Okay, so can you bring a vape pen on a cruise ship? The answer, generally, vaping is typically allowed in same areas where smoking is permitted. Most cruise lines treat the use of e-cigarettes similar to smoking, with designated areas for those activities. I mentioned this to you earlier. This includes many of the lines like Carnival, Royal, Norwegian, MSC, Virgin, Holland America, Disney, Celebrity, and Virgin. Most lines treat e-cigarettes as regular tobacco cigarettes, meaning vaping is strictly prohibited indoors with only open decks available for use. Now, even though some people just despise vaping, e-cigarettes, whatever your choice is, the rules are that they're allowed. So both Carnival Cruises and Royal Caribbean take zero tolerance approach to anyone breaking the policies, though, and will take appropriate action where necessary. So keep that in mind. Also worth noting, depending on the cruise line, some allow smoking in casinos, but you won't be able to do that on Disney because Disney does not have casinos on their cruise ship yet. So smoking an e-cigarette in a place where it is prohibited on board could cause a result of a fine and several $100s, sometimes prison, because, you know, it's a cruise ship. You don't want to set it on fire, yada, yada. Many cruise lines allow vape pens, vape pods, e-cigarettes, stuff like that. However, they must be used in the designated smoking areas. I know I'm saying that a couple of times, but depending on your cruise line, you will have to check on that. But it also is going to depend on how you pack your personal vape pen in your carry-on luggage. So it's important to know that for cruisers to familiarize themselves with the vaping laws in their destination, as some countries have outright ban on vaping, while others prohibit the use of nicotine-containing liquids. These laws can vary from country to country. As you can imagine, it's a good idea to just check before you go to these ports for your excursions, et cetera, et cetera. So keep in mind with the local laws and be sure to follow their specific cruise line that you are sailing with. And consequences, as you can imagine, in other countries could be vastly different from what you could experience in the States. So it's important to know and follow those laws and regulations of the countries you're visiting to avoid any legal issues. Anything else I got for you? Let me see. Many countries view vaping similar through the same lens to which is cigarettes. So depending on the country, they could be banned from like indoor public spaces, but allow it in some bars, stuff like that. You just got to make sure you communicate and ask. Be sure to know the vaping rules before you go to different countries. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, listen, if you need to know how to pack your vape, check out ahoy365.com for all of that. And if you need help wondering what else not to pack on a cruise, you can check out this video right here. You'll be surprised what some people try to bring on a cruise, like 5 bottles of Pappy Van Winkle and 20 bottles of their own whiskey. Check that out. You'll be surprised about my answer.